my very first, and to this day still one of my best friends, was my mom. A good mother in all the ways that a mom should be. I was loved unconditionally, taught right from wrong, fed, clothed, provided a good education, the basics. But my mom is anything but basic. I grew up in a home where I was taught valuable life lessons, but was also given space to carve my own path and make my own choices. And when the choices I made led to some of the hardest and darkest times of my life, there was always one thing that I knew undoubtedly to be true. My mom would be there to pick me up off the ground, dust me off, and remind me just what I was capable of, and that in that I still had her unconditional love. As we grow, we take a lot from our parents. We lay a lot of the burdens of our failures at their feet. But as an adult and a mother myself, I have tried my hardest to allow my parents to reverse that role and lay some of their burden upon my feet. I owe more to my parents than can ever truly be replaced. But the best I can do is try to have them see how much they are appreciated and truly valued, as I try and create the safe space for them that they always provided for me, and try to return their favors as best I can. The fact that my mother celebrates her birthday in the same month as Christmas seems almost too perfect. The house becomes a winter wonderland that would rival the North Pole, and her collections of Santas is the only collection in this house larger than her collection of clocks. But there is another tale surrounding my mother that has held her heart for nearly 15 years. My mother's absolute favorite title is that of Grammy. Reliving the memories of motherhood through a double-filtered lens of pride, as not only was there a grandbaby to love, it was her baby that had brought this tiny being into existence. And while my baby is now a teenager, one tale from those long-gone days still resounds to this day, and it seems only fitting that I share that tale that means so much to her through my voice, as she once did for my baby. From one parent to another. Little Nut Brown Hare, who was going to bed, held on tight to Big Nut Brown Hare's very long ears. He wanted to be sure that Big Nut Brown Hare was listening. "Guess how much I love you," he said. "Oh, I don't think I could guess that," said Big Nut Brown Hare. "This much," said Little Nut Brown Hare, stretching out his arms as wide as they could go. Big Nut Brown Hare had even longer arms. "But I love you this much," he said. That is a lot," thought Little Nut Brown Hare. "I love you as high as I can reach," said Little Nut Brown Hare. "I love you as high as I can reach," said Big Nut Brown Hare. "That is quite high," thought Little Nut Brown Hare. "I wish I had arms like that." Then Little Nut Brown Hare had a good idea. He tumbled upside down and reached up the tree trunk with his feet. "I love you all the way up to my toes," he said. "And I love you all the way up to your toes," said Big Nut Brown Hare, swinging him up over his head. "I love you as high as I can hop," laughed Little Nut Brown Hare, bouncing up and down. "But I love you as high as I can hop," smiled Big Nut Brown Hare, and he hopped so high that his ears touched the branches above. "That's good hopping," thought Little Nut Brown Hare. I wish I could hop like that. I love you all the way down the lane as far as the river, cried Little Nut Brown Hare. I love you across the river and over the hills, said Big Nut Brown Hare. That's very far, thought Little Nut Brown Hare. He was almost too sleepy to think any more. Then he looked beyond the thorn bushes, out into the big dark night. Nothing could be further than the sky. I love you right up to the moon, he said, and closed his eyes. Oh, that's far, said Big Nut Brown Hare. That is very, very far. Big Nut Brown Hare settled Little Nut Brown Hare into his bed of leaves. He leaned over and kissed him good night. Then he lay down close by and whispered with a smile, I love you right up to the moon and back. Even 15 years later, I guarantee you, my mother is crying right now. My mother's heart so full of love for all of us, unconditionally, even when we don't always deserve it. My mother, the first familial face I ever saw in this world. My mother, my friend, my confidant, my support. It doesn't matter how old I get, or how my life changes, or the choices that I make affect my life. I know I have my mom by my side. And that means more than I think I can even fully express in a day. And I don't say it enough. I don't think any of us really do thank our parents enough for the littlest of things that they do. It's the little things that become those big things. At the end of the day, we recall the simplest of gestures that people did for us that made all the difference. A smile when we were sad, a hug when we felt alone, a kind word when we felt that our value was low. But all I can do as I grow up and raise my own child is to remind my mother that the pride she sees in her grandchild is because I was raised to be a good parent. And in being raised to be a good parent, I've raised a really good kid. My successes are my own because I work hard for them, but I have the ethic to work hard because of my parents. In numerous ways, thank you for being my mother. Thank you more for being my friend. And I know you love me, but I love you more.